When someone you care about is going through depression, you desperately want to help, right? But it's so hard to know what to do. You feel kind of lost. You worry you're going to say the wrong thing. So today, we're going to break down how you can offer real, meaningful support, starting with understanding what's happening and then moving to compassionate action. Okay, let's get into it. So, what does it really take to help a friend who's struggling? It's a question that goes way beyond just giving simple advice. It's about connection, it's about empathy, and it's about knowing which actions actually make a difference. Think of this as your guide to being the support system your loved one truly needs. First things first, we absolutely have to start with understanding. How can you really help someone if you don't get what they're going through, right? Real, meaningful support always begins with knowledge. So what is depression really? It's not just feeling sad or having a bad day. Our source material puts it perfectly. It's an emotional disorder. It causes this persistent, heavy feeling of sadness and a total loss of interest in, well, anything. It truly changes how a person thinks, feels, and acts, and it can snowball into all sorts of other problems, both emotional and physical. Now, what's so telling about this slide is just how different the symptoms can be. It's not just a sad look on someone's face. Look at this list. Feeling drained and tired all the time, losing interest in things they used to love. Their appetite or sleep patterns are all over the place. And then there's the internal stuff, the constant negative thoughts, these deep feelings of guilt or worthlessness. Seeing these signs is really the first clue that someone might need our help. Okay, so now that we have a better handle on what depression is, let's move into the heart of it all, listening and comforting. This is where we go from just understanding the problem to actually becoming part of the solution. This slide lays out 4 absolutely crucial steps. It all kicks off with empathetic listening, and that's a huge one, right? It means you're not just waiting for your turn to talk, you're listening to understand. From there, it's about being genuine, showing you care, and offering encouragement, not just with words, but with small, helpful actions. The takeaway here? Your presence is often way more powerful than your advice. And here's a perfect example of how powerful, simple, sincere words can be. A phrase like, "Hey, don't worry, I'm right here with you." That can mean everything. It doesn't try to solve the problem, it just offers solidarity. It tells them in no uncertain terms that they are not going through this alone. All right, so we've covered what to do, but, and this is a big but, it's just as critical to know what not to do. Sometimes, even when we have the best intentions, we can say things that are really dismissive or just plain unhelpful. Let's look at some of those common traps. Wow, this comparison just lays it out so clearly. Instead of just try harder, which can make someone feel like they're failing, try I'm here for you. Instead of the classic other people have it worse, which totally minimizes their pain, acknowledge their fight by saying, you've been so incredibly strong. See the pattern? It's all about validating their feelings, not telling them they're wrong for feeling that way. So to kind of wrap up this what not to do section, avoid jumping in with advice they didn't ask for. Don't make comparisons, don't ever downplay what they're feeling, and definitely don't try to argue them out of their negative thoughts. It doesn't work. Your job is to create a safe space for them, not a courtroom or a lecture hall. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about some proactive steps. For people who are dealing with milder depression, or as something to do alongside professional treatment, self-care can be a seriously powerful tool for building up that resilience. But first, a really, really important disclaimer. The things we're about to talk about, they're great for mild depression and they're fantastic as supportive habits. But, and this is key, they are not a substitute for professional medical treatment, especially if things are moderate to severe. So here we have 6 really practical steps for at-home care. And you'll notice, these are kind of the fundamentals of well-being, aren't they? Eating well, moving your body, getting enough sleep, setting tiny goals, taking a few minutes to be mindful, and reaching out to people. Each one is like a little building block for better mental health. And the magic word here is small. Because, when you're in that state, even getting out of bed can feel like climbing a mountain. So setting a goal that's actually achievable, like I'm going to cook 1 meal or I'll read 1 chapter of a book, that helps bring back a tiny bit of control. It's a small win that can start to build some much-needed momentum. Finally, and this might be the most important section of all, let's talk about getting professional support. We have to normalize this. Reaching out to a professional isn't a sign of weakness. It's an incredibly brave and proactive step toward getting better. So what does professional help actually look like? Well, it usually comes down to 2 main paths. There's psychotherapy, or talk therapy, like CBT, which helps you understand your thought patterns and behaviors. And then there's medication, like antidepressants, which a doctor prescribes to help balance things out in the brain. Very often, the most effective approach is a combination of both. And if there's one number you take away from all of this, please let it be this one. Somewhere between 70 and 90% of people with depression respond well to treatment. That's huge. Recovery isn't just possible. For most people, it's probable. There is so much reason for hope. But, and this is an important but, recovery is an ongoing process. You can see from this chart that the risk of it coming back goes up with each episode. Now, this isn't meant to be discouraging, not at all. It's here to show why it's so incredibly important to stick with the management plan even after you start feeling better to help prevent a relapse down the road. At the end of the day, recovery is a journey, not a final destination. And as we've seen again and again, connection is the key. Connection with your friends, with professionals, and with yourself. The single most important thing for anyone struggling to hear is this: you are not alone. So I'll leave you with this question. Now that you have this understanding, now that you have these tools, will you be the one to start that difficult but maybe life-changing conversation today?
Health is the most precious gift. If this video helped you or someone you love, please like, subscribe, and share so more families can stay safe and healthy.